The survival of local professional expertise against business models driven by wage arbitrage and finance as a service depends heavily on the nature of the work performed, specifically whether the expertise is standardized and repetitive or bespoke, creative, and regulatory in nature. Local expertise tends to survive and remain necessary, where services require local knowledge, regulatory independence, or creative problem-solving. It sounds like a no-brainer. Semi-skilled administrative staff in India only earn about 5% of what their counterparts do in the US, or 7% in Canada. So why not get entry-level Indian accountants to do all the tedious bookkeeping for startups in Silicon Valley, or Canada for that matter? Repetitive bookkeeping tasks would seem like a good candidate for finance as a service and wage arbitrage. But bookkeeping isn't the problem for our smallest businesses. Record-keeping is. What's more, these records originate and exist locally. Likewise, a sufficient understanding of what transactions represent only exists where they occurred. In other words, simple repetitive bookkeeping can't really be performed offshore for startups. Record-keeping requires that transactions are harvested or downloaded locally, and then scanned, categorized, and digitized locally before they're sent offshore. That doesn't provide any opportunity to find efficiencies. It's easier to just download transaction data locally and categorize it. The offshore team can be eliminated, since they only complicate the process. For decades now, long before online banking was even a thing, professional accountants compiled banking data into their working trial balance and then added a few adjusting entries to convert cash-basis records to an acceptable accrual basis. And it's even easier today. An owner-manager can simply add a few bookmarks to his web browser's bookmarks bar to create their own simple financial dashboard. Summarizing a year's worth of accounting data into a pivot table only takes a few minutes. So what's the advantage of inserting an offshore team with no local tax knowledge into what is a fairly routine process? Keeping things simple lets your clients focus on the important stuff, like building killer new products.